This cleaning website is absolute genius, and I bet they get a lot of leads just from this website alone. So if you own a home cleaning business, make sure to listen closely, because by implementing some of their tricks or actually strategies, I bet you could also get a lot more leads through your website. So basically making your website actually work for you instead of against you. Okay, let's begin. First and foremost, let's talk about the offer. Now, the offer here, technically it's part of the business. However, when it comes to writing the copy in your website, knowing your offer is really, really good. Basically, I learned about this from Alex, and it's really, really helpful. So in this example, this is technically SEO focused. Let's talk about the headline first. Technically, this is kind of weak, cleaning services Calgary. However, when it comes to SEO, or I guess just how clear the message is, cleaning services. So if I land on this website, I can easily, or if I were a customer or client per se, once I arrive on this website, by reading this alone, I already know that I'm in the right place because I'm looking for some cleaners and assuming that I live in Calgary, right? However, I see a lot of example here that they're not using this properly, because even if this is weak when it comes to a copywriting, from a copywriting perspective, it's still better compared to having a really vague headline, right? For instance, this one is the best example I have, or I guess a bad example. Because if you just focus on this headline alone, let's remove all the other supporting text and then even the name itself, it's really, really hard to tell whether this website or this business is all about cleaning. Because saying refreshing excellence of your property can mean a lot of things. One of them could be interior design, could be architect, whatever, right? So it's not immediately clear, is what I'm trying to say. So your headline and part of the offer should be immediately clear. So in this case, if I'm looking for cleaning service in Calgary, this one immediately answered that. So hopefully you can change your headline to something that's a lot clearer, even if it's something as simple as telling what your service is and your city. Now, as an extra or as a bonus, I guess, you can obviously ask ChatGPT to write you a compelling copy with regards to the headline whilst making sure that it's also SEO friendly. So keeping your main keyword or your main service plus your city, right? And here's why I think having this headline is okay, even if it's weak. It's because the next one, the supporting text, is absolutely perfect here. It's also simple, but it answers a lot of the objections for instance, if I was looking for a home cleaner near me, right? It would be really, really hard to trust right away, like any business, right? Because I will be inviting them to my house to clean my house, so they'll have access to pretty much everything. So if I'm not really sure if they can do the job properly, or even if they're trustworthy, that they won't, steal stuff, then that's something that we need to answer right away. So basically we have to remove that barrier or fear that your potential clients might have. In this case, in this website, they are doing it properly. One of the main objections, one of the main objections for a house cleaner is that whether they're actually trustworthy. In this case, they are, because they're already insured and they're also verified home cleaners, right? That's what I talked about before, by having that fear of inviting strangers to my home to clean my house, right? And then flexible scheduling is also a good thing here. Perhaps you can also do this with your business, not just the website, but if you have that, make sure to say that on your website. Another thing is 100% satisfaction guarantee. Now, this is what we call a risk reversal. So again, it answers one of those fears that your potential clients have. Because what if, like one of the common questions is, what if you don't actually deliver what you promised? So in this case, if you have this, you basically remove that risk from them and you take on that risk. So that lowers the barrier of entry for them to actually say yes to your business. And then culinary cleaning company. Yes. So yeah, hopefully you can apply the same concept to your business, not just the website itself, and then once you have something like a risk reversal, like a 100% satisfaction guarantee, is you can implement them, or you can add that copy on your website to actually bring in more clients. Okay, now let's move on to the next. That took 5 minutes? No way. That was just one point. But anyway, this is really good. And especially the fifth thing that I'll talk about. So make sure to listen, because this is also something you can easily apply and get more clients that way. Anyway, mini social proof. So again, this is another part of the trust factor, Because again, you need to get them to trust you as soon as you can. In this case, we have here an example of Sandra's review for the business. Now, you don't necessarily have to write all the copy here. It could be a lot of things. For instance, I wonder if I actually have a lot of example for a quick social proof. So as for other quick social proofs that you can do, you can add multiple ratings from different websites. So you have Facebook, perhaps Google, or I guess this is BBB, Better Business Bureau, or something else. But anyway, yeah. And if you're gonna do something like this, make sure to add those star icons and say the 5.0, 4.8, whatever rating. Because even just having those icons, 5-star icons, is really, really helpful. And without saying anything, it already conveys that you're trustworthy because other people already trusted you. So I guess it's similar to how word of mouth works, but digitally, right? A different example apart from the 5-star reviews is you can also add the number of reviews you have. If you have a lot, because that will also help. And then a different example here, if you don't have reviews, there's also another example you can do. Here, numbers. So for instance, you could say the number of houses you've cleaned, the number of clients you've already helped, or your years of experience. So basically, you can also add a quick social proof like this on your hero section. So again, immediately convey trust. Okay, what's my next point? Let's close that. Mini social proof, even more social proof. Okay, so here's what I mean by that. You need to have that quick social proof on your hero section, right? But at the bottom, you should not forget the rest of the social proof. In this case, they're actually doing that really well here. So this is what I talked about earlier. They have the numbers to show. So that's a form of social proof. And then there's also a before and after. Again, that's also a form of social proof. And then here, oh, that's a team part. Here, so these are the reviews. So hopefully once you have a review or lots of reviews, you can also show them on your homepage itself, right? Because the way it works, usually there's two types of buyers, or in this case, there's two types of buyers. So there's the impulsive ones, meaning they will immediately press buy. And then there's also the logical buyers who needs to know more about your business before they actually choose you. In that case, that's where more social proof on your homepage will actually work. And again, I keep repeating this over and over, but you really need to convey trust as soon as possible or immediately on your homepage. Because for a home cleaning, trust is absolutely necessary. It's non-negotiable, right? Okay, now let's talk about that. CTA, for their CTA, it's not really that good. Because C as a verb is not really great, I would say. Because look, there's an ideal CTA framework. Oh, CTA, by the way, is called to action. Basically, something like a button that gets them to do an action. So that's either to become your lead or to become a paying client. In this case, see my price would be just turning them into a lead. Now, this is the ideal framework of a CTA copy. So you have the verb, the action word, then first person, so you have to make sure to talk in person. That's why they have my instead of see your price. And then what they'll get, in this case, the price or the quote, and then an urgency, which they don't have. They have it here because it's instant, but they didn't add it on the button itself. So that's something you can do. So let me give you a quick example of what you can write for your own CTA. So something like, if you have a quote, it could say something like, get my, first person, what they'll get, free quotes. Because usually it should be free, right? And then say now. So that's the sense of urgency, or something like today. So you can do this. You can change the copy of your button to something like this. And I assure you, I mean, I can't guarantee because I don't have access to your website, but this will get you more increase compared to just see my price or something like that, or submit now. Please don't have submit now as your main button. That's not good. Okay, I actually have a really not fun story, I guess. One of the websites that I managed, I changed the button text because it was really, really long. So I was like, I wonder if we can shorten this so it's a lot cleaner when it comes to the design and easy on the eyes, I guess. And here's the thing, this is literally the exact text that I changed it to. I got an approval for that because it's a big business. So anyway, I changed it and I had to make sure to monitor everything because that one simple change can cause some dramatic change. So anyway, as I did that, it was actually, I think, weekends, but I guess that doesn't really matter. So anyway, the next day I checked the data, and oh my god, it was a disaster. Like the performance of something like see my price compared to the longer button is insane. It's like I basically messed up the whole website. So I had to stop that test right away and just use the original one. Because again, something longer. I mean, it doesn't have to be really long. In fact, it's not really recommended. But ideally, something like this is a lot better compared to see my price or see price, right? Okay. Now let's move on to the next thing that I wanted to talk about. Instant quote. So now this, I'm not sure if you can easily implement this yourself, because having an instant quote usually requires some sort of programming, or if you have a software that you're using for your quote, usually it's automated, right? So you can also say something like instant quote for that. So there's also that sense of urgency that you'll get an answer right away if they request for a quote. And another thing here, if you can see, there's that animation. So it grabs your attention to get to that instant quote, which unfortunately that's a bit challenging to do with any of the website platforms right now. But yeah, hopefully you can also get attention to your instant quote. You can probably do that with just changing the font color. Okay. Make sure to have a Y or benefits. Why? Okay, here's the next thing that you must have on your website, or yeah, on your website so you can get more leads, right? The why. So, why choose your business over other businesses? Now, the thing though, here it's not really, I would say it's not that good. It's good, but these are more like the features instead of the benefits. So, the benefits usually talk about the emotional outcomes. The emotional outcomes compared to the features, which is the technical side of things. So, an example of a good benefit for your home cleaning business is a peace of mind. Because then your potential customers or clients, don't have to worry about cleaning. So, that's peace of mind. Or another part of the peace of mind that you can say or talk about is that you have trustworthy cleaners, right? So they don't have to worry about bad things happening because your cleaners are verified, right? And then another thing apart from peace of mind, you can also say save time because cleaning takes a lot of time. Like I love to make sure that my stuff are clean, my house is clean, but I really hate cleaning. So you can say something like that. So save time, peace of mind, or whatever else. But yeah, you should have that. So basically something that sets you apart from your competitors, specifically by talking about the emotional benefits that they'll get from choosing your business over your competitors. Again, you can ask ChatGPT to write you this. Besides, if you have the budget, why not hire a web designer with an actual copywriting skills? Me. Speaking of which, I actually offer a free web audit for your business, for your website. No, actually, not just for your website, but also for your overall digital presence, depending on how big your business, I guess. And basically, I will go over your website, find out what's working, what's not working, and give you some actionable insights. So yes, you can fix it yourself so you can get more bookings from your digital overall presence, specifically from your website. So make sure to click the link below to get your free web audit and get more bookings as soon as possible. I forgot to mention with regards to the instant quote. Now let's go back to the instant quote because I did mention that I wanted to talk about something here that you can easily implement. So with regards to the instant quote, ideally it should be as simple as this. So there's only 6 fields, 6 input fields compared to having a lot. And there's a reason for that, and there's a reason why they're doing this. Because having more fields mean more friction. And more friction means they're more likely to actually just abandon your form, right? And we don't want that. So as much as possible, your form should have the least amount of friction by making sure it's really easy to fill out. As an example of something that's really, really complicated and that will likely get them to just bounce back and choose your competitors, an easy way to visualize what I mean by super complicated form is this one. I found this earlier. I can't believe why are you even asking this? Because as I mentioned before, if it's way too complicated, then your potential clients will be overwhelmed and basically just end up not doing your form or not filling out this form and choose your competitors instead. Because one, why would you even ask for a prefix, right? Like Mr. or Miss. Like, does that really help with regards to the quote? Not really, no. And then last name is also not that important here. First name, yes, obviously, because you just need to have to know their name to actually get that quote in, because I'm having a personalized quote will perform a lot better or will convert a lot better compared to just random quote. So first name, email, contact number, yes. For the address and city, I understand the importance of that, but at the same time, you can just ask that afterward, right? Preferred dates, also you can ask that afterwards. Also comments, why. So if your website has that complicated form, you can copy what HelloMaid is doing here. So just ask for their first name, email, phone number, type of cleaning, number of beds, and number of bathrooms. And then try to make it automated if you have a software that you're using, or have someone to easily make that quote for you and follow up as well with regards to the other information. Because having this simple form will get more inquiries or basically get more leads. Because again, it has a lot less friction compared to a ridiculously complicated form, right? Okay, now let's talk about the next point. More social proof. I already said that. Why is it? Oh, okay, here. This is actually another social proof because proud supporter of, or basically popular businesses in your area that you perhaps you're working with or that you support or you have an affiliation with, because that one, like if they are familiar with the business and like that business trusts your business, then obviously they will also trust your business, right? So yeah, you can also add something like this. So if you're working with a commercial, if you're doing any commercial cleaning for any business, you can perhaps put their business there. But here's the thing though, they're doing it like they have links here, which is kind of okay, but for the above the fold section like this one, it shouldn't be a link, because ideally the main goal of your homepage or your landing page is just one. It's either to get a quote, an estimate right then and there, or to contact you, right? So if you have an exit point, then that's basically a distraction that will hurt your conversion rate. Another example for that, let's actually check that out. Another example of that is this. If you have social media links on your above the fold, please remove it, because that's also an exit point, meaning if they do decide to click on your social media links, then you basically already lost that client or potential client. As well, the goal of these social media is to get them to stay on their platform instead of actually booking a business with you, and that's just not what we want, right? So yeah, if you have these here like on the top, please remove them. It's okay if they're at the bottom, but at the top, no, remove them. Then correct use of animation. I did talk about that before under cleaning services category. Then that's already too long. Okay, and then another thing, I already talked about that earlier. Basically, by having a properly used animation, you can grab their attention toward that. So in this case, it's to grab your attention toward the instant quote. Another example is a button. So I guess for one of my clients, this is actually what I used. So having that button move, pop in or zooms in out, no, scales largely and then back to its original size. Because the goal of that animation, or mainly for any website animation, is to get your attention toward that item. Meaning, if you have way too many animations, then chances are your potential clients will just be confused and there's no hierarchy of importance. And in this case, the most important should have been the see my price or something similar like this, because it will still attract your attention toward what's important, which is here to get a quote, right? If you're using like a lot of animations for your website, saying something like a carousel, for instance, or a slider on your homepage, you shouldn't have that, because it absolutely destroys your conversion rate by a lot. So just keep it simple. Use the KISS principle, basically. Keep it simple, stupid. KISS. Okay, anyway, let's move on to the next one. Before and after. Before and after is insanely powerful for a home cleaning business because it shows what you can do. And ideally, if you're gonna do a before and after, make sure that the before is really, really dirty so you can actually show the after, like the after. Basically, your after will be more impactful if the before is really, really dirty. And it doesn't even have to be like high quality by using a camera, right? Even just you're using an iPhone or your Android, whatever, it's fine. As long as you can show the before and after and not using a stock image, that's a lot better. Another thing, theme or picture of a real person, not just what is it about? Okay, stock photos. So this is another trust factor that you can also easily do on your website. So make sure to show one of your teammates or even you on the homepage itself, because that also conveys trust. Because again, I know I keep repeating this, but you really need to immediately convey that you're trustworthy compared to your competitors. And one of the things you can do is to actually show your face on your website, not just using stock photo, right? So in this case, they have pictures of their team members. Where else? They also have pictures of the founders and some even more team members here. So yeah, hopefully you can also implement that here. Like you can add pictures of your team on your website so you can convey trust, because just seeing faces of real people behind a business can really help with regards to building trust. So yeah, with all that said, make sure to fix your offer or at least improve your offer, and to add a mini social proof like this one, on your hero section. And then and for the offer, something like a risk reversal, 100% satisfaction guarantee, and then even more social proof. So at the bottom, make sure to add your testimonials and CTA. Make sure to follow this kind of framework. So verb, first person, and what they'll get, plus urgency. Oh, and another thing I forgot to mention is it should really pop out of the design itself. So what I mean here, since they're using yellow, so this is a lot more prominent compared to other buttons, like the yellow here. It's a lot more prominent, and the button is much more prominent compared to, say, here. This is not really as prominent. Like this button is not as prominent because the next section is the same color, so it's like nothing pops out or nothing sticks out like a sore thumb, which in this case should be the CTA because it works that way. Oh, this one is actually good. The main color is white, and then I guess there's a red, which certainly gets my attention. So yeah, you can also use some vibrant colors for your button as well. The purpose is simply to get that attention toward the button right away. And then instant quote, yeah, so simplify your estimate or quote form, and then make sure to add benefits and add more social proof. So if you have the numbers, and then correct use of animation. Don't animate your website way too much. It doesn't really help. Just keep it simple. And then show a before and after. I'm sure you have a lot of this. Yeah, and then theme of a picture of a real person. So you, not just using stock photos. So I guess the gist of this, or we can summarize this into just one sentence. Make sure to convey trust immediately on your website so you can actually get more leads. Now, if you don't have the time to actually fix this yourself, this is literally what I do. Like, I fix websites and basically do all of the digital marketing to help cleaning businesses get more bookings. If you want someone to just take care of all of that problem and then to help you get more bookings, make sure to click the link below. All right.